Democratic Republic of Congo reduces the sentence of 3 Americans involved in the May 19, 2024 failed coup attempt from death sentences to life imprisonment. We have breaking news, guys, coming out of Democratic Republic of Congo.
Looks like the Congo's president, Félix Tshisekedi, is the one who orchestrated this.
Yeah, I'm looking at it here. He's commuted the death sentences of 3 American citizens convicted of participating in a coup attempt last year. Now, the coup attempt occurred last year was led by opposition figure Christian Malonga. The operation targeted the presidential palace in Kinshasa and resulted in 6 fatalities, including Malonga himself, who was shot while resisting arrest.
It looks like Malonga also had a 21-year-old son named Marcel, who is a U.S. citizen, was among the Americans convicted for participating in the coup plot. The other Americans are Tyler Thompson Jr., 21, a high school friend, and Benjamin Ruben Zelman Polland, 36, who is reported to have known Christian Malonga through a gold mining company.
Yeah, I just sent you over a photo of the 3 individuals that just got their second chance at life, but are going to unfortunately spend the rest of their life in prison. Those are the 3 that you just mentioned, Marcel, Tyler, and Benjamin.
Wow.
Let me see here.
What was the coup specifically? Do we know yet?
Let me pull that up here so I can give the accurate information.
So it looks like they had Western connections and ties to Diaspora groups. It looks like it's just 3 people. 2 American, 1 his son Marcel, and then Christian were the only ones involved in it. So a total of 4.
Yeah, so this is the one that you heard last year where they Malonga led a group of armed men in coordinated attacks targeting the key government locations, including essentially what was their national capital, the offices of President Felix at the time, and the residence of the economy minister. So they tried to hit 3 different places. The assailants, numbering over 50, some displaying the flag of the former Zaire, managed to briefly occupy parts of these strategic sites.
Yeah, so just random mercenaries, random people who just decided to go to Congo and start a coup, Kyle?
No, definitely not.
Where do you think this is coming from?
I'm not too sure. It could be a number of things.
But like funding wise,
well, let's see if we can pull it
I mean,
up.
yeah, it's definitely foreign funding, right? The Americans who are starting a Western coup style regime in Congo. I wonder if NATO has anything to do with this. Could that be the case?
Yeah.
The fact that they have the coordinated targets as well just goes to show that, once again, you can always, anytime there's a proxy, anytime there's a coup, anytime there's a cartel, whenever they have locations specifically of where government officials are, or where they have access to databases, they have access to satellites that have real-time information, you know that a 4-man person doesn't have access to a satellite. You know that there's a government behind it always. So what is the government behind this? What is the government who's not stepping up and saying, hey, get the fuck off of our coup? They're not going to step up and take it. So every single one of these people who does this, they're always just the ones who take the L's. This has to be some form of intelligence, or maybe just some randos who have foreign funding to go and do this. I don't get it, really. Not yet, but we'll see.
Yeah, let me see. I think we have some footage here. Let me pull it up. Oh yeah, here we go. Got some footage of the when they were originally caught by security forces. I just dropped you over a link here. So the military in Congo successfully thwarted this coup attempt aimed at seizing the palace of the nation, the residence of the prime minister, and the minister of economy. So these 3 strategic locations.
In this video right now, looks like he's praying. Yeah, he knows it's over. We can see the passports here. How familiar are you with Trump administration and their increasing interest in Africa?
You know, it seems like nations for the last 100 years have been battling over the right to the land and the people in Africa. I mean, just like every other country, a lot of these people just want to be left alone. And unfortunately, you have America that just tries to go in and westernize these nations. And I don't know. I feel like America might not be the greatest at going in there and doing this because of all of the chaos that they cause.
Yeah, and I think we saw recently in Congo that one of the radical Muslims groups, probably ISIS or something like that, went in and murdered a whole bunch of Christians. Kyle, if maybe we can pull up an article on that.
Yeah.
This type of shit always happens because it's a psyop. This is psychological warfare to make you think in your head, oh my gosh, we need to get our U.S. troops down there to save the Christians. And most of the time, the people who are funding ISIS, who are telling ISIS to go and do this, are the people who want you to feel that way so that they can go and occupy. And it's always beneficial for them whenever they occupy, because in exchange for that occupation, they want the silver, the gold, the rubies, the diamonds that Africa has so much of. So we're seeing some sort of psychological warfare happening here. And I think we're the only ones who will actually say it.
Yeah.
I've never seen anybody else call it out like this.
I just sent you over the what happened a couple months ago. The 70 Christians that were beheaded in Africa. And that's crazy. If that happened anywhere else, it would be national news. But it seems like not a lot of people heard about this. If you want to play the video, let's listen in what they local news has to say.
Why is no one reporting this? Why does no one seem to care? Well, let me bring in Dexter Van Zyl, an expert on anti-Christian violence. Dexter, what can you tell us about this absolutely barbaric atrocity?
Okay, well, first of all, it took place in the Democratic Republic of Congo, which is a huge country with about 105 million people, that right now is basically in a conflict with neighboring Rwanda over territory in Kivu, okay? And the violence was perpetrated by an organization that was affiliated with ISIS. And the thing is that there are some people who have argued that they are essentially working on behalf of Rwanda, because Rwanda is a neighboring country that covets and is actually taking control of an awful lot of the mineral resources.
Okay. Rwanda. Okay, that's interesting.
So going back to these three guys that had their sentences commuted, you know, legal experts note that while the death penalty was reinstated in Congo in early 2024, its application remains controversial in Congo. The defense attorneys had previously indicated intentions to appeal the original death sentences, citing concerns over the legal process. So it is kind of interesting that they did commute their death sentence to life in prison. I really wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, it could just be a nod to the U.S. to maintain a good relationship. I don't think it looks great whenever you have Trump in office and they're beheading people who started a coup. And I really do think that the Trump administration is kind of itching to go in and to expand into Africa. The issue is that so are China and so are Russia.
Yeah.
It's a mineral gold mine. Like I said, the diamonds, the gold, the silver, but you also have lithium, cobalt. All of these things are so necessary for the growth of the military industrial complex. It would never be an easy war. And I think people wouldn't understand that you're not going to war with Congo. You're going to war with the big key players in the East, which I think is pretty much always just Russia and China, right?
Yeah.
North Korea was a big one, and then nothing happened with that. So, I mean, this could just be a failed proxy. It could be what this guy said, which was what, Rhodesia? Yeah?
Yeah.
I guess we'll have to keep you guys updated on what happens here.
Yeah, we'll continue to monitor and report on any further developments in this specific case, so keep an eye out.